So hi everybody, welcome to this Peri and Menopause Movement Club exclusive with a wonderful image consultant and my friend Annette Cohen. You can see we have similar accents. Hi Annette, so how are you?
Hi Trace, hi.
So
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Just thrilled that the weather's finally starting to warm up here in Toronto. Where
I know, it's so exciting.
So I am so thrilled to have you on with us today, because I think what you're going to be talking to us about, the presentation is called Reinventing 50 Easy Modern Styling Tips for Menopause, because I think we all need a little bit of help, right? We go through this change, this physical change in our bodies with peri and menopause. And sometimes, you know, our style's been like left back in 2002, as I said. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about image consulting, and let's get moving.
Sure. Okay. So an image consultant, basically somebody who can help anyone really, women and men, address certain goals that they have in life, but through dealing with their appearance, their behavior and their communication. But in my business, I've taken the focus to helping women who are at our age, 50 plus, with their appearance, with their grooming, and with reaching certain style goals, because I really believe that, that it affects our confidence. And that's really my passion, is to help women feel more confident through their style. So that's what my business is really, in a nutshell, all about. So we work with trends and with people's body shapes and what's holding them back and what can we do to take it to the next level. I just think that at this stage in our lives, it's, you know, you should feel comfortable in your body, you should feel confident, and especially post-pandemic. Like, this is, we've all had the time to relax at home in our pajamas and have Zoom meetings in our pajamas with nice tops and jewelry. And now it's time to really level, you know, step it up a level and feel more confident within yourself. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And I can see there are lots of people online and lots of people are going to be watching the replay, because this is something that all of us struggle with, right? Is finding our place and our style with changing body, maybe changing careers, maybe, you know, changing countries, whatever. This phase of our life is all about change. And I think developing a style that helps you move through this phase with confidence is so crucial. So thank you.
Exactly. And also developing that style that, you know, we're not even sure what it is anymore, because we've given so much of our focus and our time to our children. And at this stage, I think a lot of them are already grown up, and now it's time for me. You know, it's time to reinvent or just rediscover what we are.
Yeah, and a lot of people embrace career changes at this time of our lives as well, right? I know the career change for you, it's also a career change for me in my mid-40s, right? I went from being an editor to a movement coach. So you want to make sure whatever change is happening in your life, I think sometimes, you know, we can be stuck in a style and a look and a place that is not in alignment with who we are now. And everybody who's like spent any time in my group will know that I'm all about alignment. We're talking with, you know, in the movement club, you're talking about physical alignment, and you're going to help us blend alignment with our personality and our changes in our style. So let me...
For sure. And not even just like career changes. There's people that are even re-entering a dating game, and now they lost. Where do I find my style? To, you know, don't be afraid of it. Just be confident and go out and get it. Right?
Well, I was going to say earlier that we're in a stage where, like, we're changing careers. I was going to say we're changing partners, but I thought, but like, since you brought it up,
we are. There are people out there that are changing partners now.
Absolutely. All right. So let me hand it over to you. Feel free to share the screen whenever you're ready.
Okay. So
I'll check that everything is happening here.
Okay. So I'm going to take you through a few slides so we can discuss a few different topics around menopause, around this stage in our lives, around trends, and around bodily changes. So I'm calling dump the frump is post-pandemic. Let's just dump that frump of staying at home in leggings and pajama pants and oversized t-shirts. But some people are not ready for huge changes, and you know, maybe even people that are working from home that are not working in an office just want to level it up slightly, but not a huge change. So I'm saying take it to the next level. Instead of maybe yoga pants or instead of yoga leggings, let's have a look at leggings. I'm just going to take the dot, whatever I'm talking about. So over here, you can see this woman's wearing what I call pleather leggings. So they're faux leather leggings, and they just maybe look a little bit better than your average yoga legging. And they're just as stretchy. In fact, the different companies and different stores make them in different ways, but you can even get them in a panel, in a half panel. So it will be half fabric and half faux leather. So that's just taking your yoga leggings to the next level. Then people that are really comfortable in their pajama pants, let's take it up to maybe, and this is very in for spring and summer, are wide leg pants. So what about the linen and cotton wide leg pants? They're probably just as comfortable as pajama pants, and they can just look so much nicer. You can pair it with a nice fitted t-shirt instead of our oversized, which are doing nothing for us. You think an oversized t-shirt hides all the curves and all the weight that's been put on during COVID. In actual fact, it makes you look bigger. So maybe pair it with a fitted t-shirt, and for the spring months, we still got a little bit of cold, a nice cardigan. Now the cardigans are great also for during menopause for layering. So it's so easy to just unbutton a cardigan and take it off. What else we've got here? The pleated skirts. So they're so comfortable. Like instead of if you're going to the office and you don't feel like wearing, or your pencil skirts not fitting you anymore, they're so in for spring and summer, and they're so comfortable, these pleated skirts. Also, don't wear them with an oversized shirt. Wear them with something a little more fitted at the top. My rule of thumb generally is that if you're wearing something that's more flared and big at the bottom, try wear something more fitted at top. And the other way around, if you want to wear something that's really wide or flowy at the top, wear it with, like the leggings, wear it with something that's more fitted at the bottom. This picture over here, again, the flat shoes look great with a capri wide pant and a blouse. And satin blouses are very in for spring and summer as well. And they just are comfortable. So I think that designers actually have taken into account that people are not ready to just let go completely of all these comfortable clothes that we've been wearing at home. Because I've seen a lot of trend where they're just a lot of trendy clothes that are more comfortable. So that's what this dump the frump slide is all about. I'm going to move on to the next slide unless anybody's got questions about this one in particular.
No questions here. I love this look because it blends. I think that these kind of clothes also just are so much more movement friendly, which is something that
and you know what, I'm actually going to be talking about movement in one of the slides as well. Yeah,
fantastic. Okay, no questions for that slide.
Okay, so then we're going to go on to the next one, which is style and menopause. So like, what has menopause got to do with style? And it's actually, there's so many things that you can link the two with. And the first, and I think is the most obvious symptom of menopause, is the sweats, the hot flashes. And what can we do about that in terms of our clothing? The biggest tip I can give you is to go for fabrics that are natural, like cotton, linen, silk, and bamboo. Those are the fabrics to look out for. So when you're buying your clothing during menopause, have a look at the label and see what the composition of the fabrics are, and just go for fabrics that are more natural. It will really help with the sweating.
I love bamboo.
Fabrics that are more like that high in polyester and viscose are definitely going to not be helpful when it comes to sweating.
Yeah.
Then layering up. So as I showed you before, here again, I put the cardigan back in here again. This is an example of layering up. So if you are starting with one of the flashes, you can just rip the scarf off, rip the cardigan off. You've got your linen top underneath, that will help. Or even if you okay with wearing a tank top underneath these things, you layer on top of your tank top. If it has to come off right down to your tank top and you're feeling confident, in wearing your tank top, then do it. In fact, everything that I'm telling you here today, every hint that I'm giving you, every tip that I'm giving you is really your gauge is your confidence in that item. So if you are comfortable wearing a purple blouse with big pink spots and it's not in trend, or if your gauge is your confidence in the clothes that you're wearing. If there's something that you feel really, really confident in, even if people are saying don't wear it, your gauge is how happy you are, how confident you are in wearing that item, really.
I love that. All about being just audaciously you, right?
Exactly. There you go, Trace. Dress to suit your new bodily changes. So I know that during menopause, a lot of women develop these pouches that maybe they've never had before. Your tummy takes on a new shape. So dress to suit your new shape. I'm not saying hide it, but there's ways, for instance, with a little bit of a tummy that you've developed, don't draw too much attention to the stomach. So there's ways of, like I said before, don't wear clothing that is too big for you either, big oversized t-shirts. That's not actually doing you any justice. But don't wear stuff that's maybe too short, like the crop tops are maybe not for women in their 50s, unless you absolutely love it, but it's not ideal for people with a bit of pouchy tummies. And then there's also, like, I actually feel that if you tuck something in, even if it's not entirely, like in this one over here, if you wear a little belt, you tuck something in. If something's got a few little pleats here, it really helps you with a bit of a pouch. It's when it's over pleated that it draws too much attention to your stomach. So don't draw too much attention to that area, but also don't go overboard in hiding it.
That's great. Great advice. Yeah. Love that. We've got a question here from Alyssa, just going back to those wide bottom pants. She said, any tips for petite short women? I'm afraid of wide bottoms.
Okay, my tip for wide pants for short women is to actually wear them in the cropped version. And especially now in spring and summer, they're going to be in cropped versions everywhere. So just watch the length. Okay. The crop for the capri version of the wide leg looks better on shorter women. Mm-hmm. And even going into, like, if you're still in boots in the spring and still in boots in fall, it looks stunning with cropped wide pants.
Fantastic.
The jeans as well. There's a lot of jeans that have come out with wide pants and in a cropped version. So that would be my advice for shorter women.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. And then just any other tips for dressing to hide the tummy, or to disguise the tummy? We don't really want to hide it.
Okay, so a lot of the time you can get tops and dresses that are a bit rouged in the front. Not too much rouging, because again, the human eye will go wherever the attention is placed. But there's a bit of rouging around the tummy area. Also depends on the proportions in your body. So if you've got an equal proportion that your legs, the top half of your body and the bottom half of your body are in good proportion, then a belt really helps as well. Just to tuck in with a little bit of a belt. If you don't like wearing belts, leave it a little bit tucked in the front to create like a U shape in the front, and then it can still be tucked out at the back.
Amazing. And what do you think of the kind of empire line for?
Yes, yeah, the empire lines are actually good for people with stomach as well, because it brings the attention to under the bust area, and then it can just flow. The thing with empire lines, some people feel that they look a bit pregnant if they wear it, if they wear empire lines. So just make sure that there's not too much pleating underneath the empire line. That might give it a bit of a preggy look. But if you've got just a cinching under the bust line with a very light drop from there, that's also very flattering and it's comfortable as well for people with a pouch.
Amazing. And Alyssa says here, I love the breakaway from black. That's your next point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's what I wanted to touch on now, is embrace your color and break away from black. We're going to do a slide just now just on color, because I'm all for finding your color. It affects your energies. It can literally lift your complexion altogether. And me as well, we all tend towards black because we think it's more slimming. A lot of the time, actually, at this stage, and this is why I put it in the menopausal slide, is because black creates more shadows on our complexion changes when we reach the 50s and over. So when we wear a lot of black, it creates more shadows. It's actually not that flattering as flattering as you think it is. Dark colors may be more flattering for clothing, but when you find colors that are right for you, then have fun with it. Just have fun with color. Black is really just fading into the background. It's not as sophisticated as we all think it is. And then another thing to do with menopause is our grooming. Our skin changes a lot at this age as well. So make sure that your skincare addresses your skin changes and your complexion changes. So what the foundation that you were using maybe in your 30s is not the foundation you should be using in your 50s, because we get melasma, dark spots. So maybe go up a color in your foundation, just as an example of how our skin changes at this age.
Amazing. Thank you. We just got a question here. Sancha's just asking, what is an empire line?
Okay, so Sancha, an empire line is really just a line. It's a cinch right under the bust area. So instead of having a dress or a blouse where it just flows completely and there is no lines, or that it's cinched in at the waist, an empire line cinches under your bust area. It comes in, it defines that area. And a lot of the time for women, that is our smallest area. So you want to celebrate it and you want to highlight that area. So that's where the human eye will go, and it will detract from the stomach area. Okay, I'm ready for the next slide.
Yeah, Gina's just saying that your advice to break away from black has been a game changer for her. I know I'm totally guilty of the black thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you something. If Gina can break away from black, Gina, if to anybody who doesn't know, she's my sister. If she can break away from black, we all can. Because, yeah, a lot of us have just got neutral wardrobes, and a lot of neutral colors are good, because we need to have basics in the wardrobe and then just a few color pieces. When you know your color, I promise you, it's going to be hard to go shopping and not gravitate towards those colors.
But I think what you were saying earlier, that's a big thing, right? Is that, and I know a sneak peek that you're going to be doing a little bit of color work on me, is that like, I go into the store and I'm not really sure what colors suit me, right? So I don't know what to gravitate to. So I think that's such an important part. And to do your colors change as your skin changes and as your hair changes?
I think the biggest change is now, because this is when, it's during menopause that our body goes through so many changes. So I think that the change is now, and then maybe at a later stage, or maybe a lot of people are choosing to go grey now. So your color may change a little bit with grey hair, because your color works on the color of your eyes, your complexion, and your hair. So your natural hair. But once we go grey and we're doing it naturally, your color may change slightly, but your undertone will never change. So if you've got warm or cool coloring, that will never change.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Okay. So are we good? We're going to go to the next slide?
We can go.
Okay. So Trace, this one's specifically inspired by you, style and movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so for people that are conscious of moving all day long, so this is whether you're working out with Tracy, or working out or working at home, you want to be able to move all day long. So your clothing is important in that the styles are a bit looser. If you've got very tight clothing and constricted styles, it's going to be difficult to move. Stretchy fabrics always help. So even with jeans, if you are shopping for jeans, go for the fabrics that are stretchy. There are a lot of jeans with more stretch in them these days. And like since I brought out stretchy jeans, I just can't go any other way. I don't know how people even wear any other jeans these days. And unrestricted top legs. So Trace, as you said to me the other day, it's really, if you've got like a crop top on, which I don't recommend for us, but if you're wearing something that's really short and you can't lift your hands over your head, then it's not going to help you with your movement during the day, right?
Yeah.
I think this is when you can chime in, Trace, and tell me if I'm doing well with style during movement.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Shapewear, Spanx. I love Spanx, but for special occasions. Yeah. I don't know anybody who would want to wear restrictive shapewear all day long. They do help, I suppose, hide certain things that we want to hide, but just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. Where's everything going with when you put on shapewear?
I mean, from a movement perspective, from the reshape method perspective, right, we want to get our shape from our muscles, okay? Whereas the shapewear it's the easy route, but the problem is that, and there are lots of research that has showed that, as Annette was saying, all that stuff out front, you put on the shapewear, but it's going somewhere, right? And what it's doing is that it's actually creating too much what's called intra-abdominal pressure. And these are things that can lead to hernias and to prolapse issues, pelvic floor issues, and bladder leaking issues, because shapewear is not harmless. Like everything we do has a consequence. So as you're saying, I just keep the shapewear for special occasions.
Yeah, I do too. And then with the bras, I think that a lot of people don't love the underwire bras. I think it's a bit restrictive, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. For me, I can tell you that the bra that's the worst for me is the ones that have got racer back, so that crisscross on your back, because it pulls on my shoulders and my neck. So for me, I know that bra is not an option. And today I've noticed that a lot of underwear designers and stores have got options for larger breasted women without having to wear the underwire. There's new technology that's helping with the larger breasted woman without having to wear that underwire.
And from the movement perspective, from the reshape method perspective and the biomechanics, which is what we go into in this group, one of the biggest problems with the underwire bras is that it restricts your rib cage from moving you and from being the primary thing that breathes you. And when you interfere with the breathing mechanism, that's when you start getting neck issues, because your neck muscles have to breathe you. Your core is being turned off. So again, just like the Spanx, we want to be careful of the underwire bras. And I'm so pleased that you're telling us, Annette, that there is amazing new technology for bigger breasted women that doesn't involve having to wear underwires, and that still allows some movement through your rib cage as you breathe.
Yeah, So for people that are in Canada, I don't know if these brands are international, but I've seen that Warner and Triumph and there's another brand, sorry, it escaped me, but Warner, I've seen that they've come up with options, with alternate options to underwire.
Fantastic.
Okay, and then the bags. I use crossbody so much now because I also feel that we don't need to, especially with the apps for holding your cards and everything, we don't need big heavy wallets anymore. We don't need to carry the kitchen sink in our bags anymore. So I think for movement, to move to a crossover bag, and smaller ones as well, because they're doing crossovers with really large pouches. I think if you can try and fit whatever's necessary for the day into a smaller crossover, that's the way to go to help with movement as well, right, Trace?
Yeah, and I love that crossover. Oh, I'd love the link for that. I'm a big fan of the crossover because from a biomechanics and alignment perspective, what we don't actually realize, and I'm sure this was part of like why I've got this gammy left shoulder, is that, and you'll start to notice it now that I've pointed it out, what you actually have to do to keep that bag on your shoulder is that you don't realize it, but you're constantly having to do this little forward motion and up motion, right? To stop the bag from falling off if it's an over shoulder bag. And then you're doing that with a weighted bag, right? The bigger the bag, the more we tend to put in it.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how over time that's actually changing your skeleton, it's changing your alignment, and then that has long-term consequences. So a lot changed for me when I switched to the crossover bag. And as you said, I actually don't need all this stuff in my bag. It's fine to just have my wallet and my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, lippy.
And a lipstick. Yeah, exactly. We don't need to carry a lot around with us every day. And then do you find that you have to change the crossover from this side to that side so that you're using both your shoulders, or doesn't that matter?
Yes, I do, because it affects your arm swing as well when you're walking. So I do try and mix it up. Yeah. Oh,
okay, good to know. And then shoes. I think this is a big one for movement, and I know that you are not a fan of heels. So keep those heels for special occasions as well. I find personally that I actually don't even look forward to wearing heels anymore. I'll keep them on for, if it's a special occasion where there's photographs getting taken, I'll keep them on for the photographs, and then 30 minutes into the evening, those heels are off. I'm taking like flats in my bag with me now when I go to places that need heels. But a lot of people, I don't know, a lot more people actually feel more comfortable in heels. I would say keep them, if you're concerned for movement, keep them for special occasions. And the trends now for spring and summer are very much into the flats. So these slides are from H&M. They're flat, and this braided padded look is very in.
Beautiful. I love those.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to know where any of these things are from, I can post links on the chat at the end.
Unfortunately, there's just no there's no tricking the laws of physics. And if you put even a 1/2-inch block under a bookcase, that bookcase is going to tip forward. And that is what is happening with your alignment and with your movement. Your weight, your leg is supposed to be vertical with the weight over the heel. As soon as you put anything under that heel, it's going to tip you forward onto your quads, and then your butt and your hamstrings can't work for you, and your butt and your hamstrings are meant to be doing everything. So for those people who did the posture tweaks challenge, I went into quite a bit of detail about that. But awesome to hear that that flats are coming in, and there's some wonderful different types of flats. So maybe if you could give us some more links to flats, I'm sure the Reshape Method members would like.
Yeah, with pleasure. Absolutely, I can do that. Okay, any more questions here before we move on to the next?
No, that's it. I think Sancha just said she has big boobs, and she's found some great wireless bras. So maybe you can share those links.
Sanch, maybe you can share that with us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, so So if we're going to move on to color now, so colors connected to our energies and our personality types, but really to find the colors that are best suited to us is a whole process. And I do it virtually and I do it in person. And it really revolves around your ideal colors revolve around your undertone, your complexion, your eyes, your hair, everything that's naturally. So if you've dyed your hair, what I do is, like when I do an in-person color analysis, I actually cover the hair with a scarf so that it doesn't distract me. And we cover the clothing or wear white t-shirts. And that's how I usually do an analysis. So it's a lot of fun. And when you know what your color is, as I said, it's really hard to ignore it. Very seldomly is your color black. I'll just put it out there right now. Seasons and flows. So we talk about color, first of all, if you're warm or you're cool, and then we go into seasons. And the two warm seasons are spring and autumn, and the two cool seasons are winter and summer. And the warm seasons are more yellow and orange based, and the cool seasons are more blues and pinks and purple based. As I've said before, black is not the answer for everyone. In fact, it ages us. And I'm going to use, I've taken a picture from Tracy that I'm going to use on the next slide. I'm going to show you how I did a virtual color analysis on her. And she doesn't even know what her results are yet. So this is going to be interesting.
I'm excited.
Okay. So the first two slides are comparing warm and cool. Tracy's actually, you were quite hard initially before I did the analysis. I thought that you would be cool, that your coloring was cool, but it's actually not. Your coloring is warm. It's just that you've looked after your skin. I can see you haven't exposed it a lot to the sun, but it doesn't mean that your undertone is not warm. So you have a warm undertone. That was the first thing we've assessed. Now, as I've said, warm can be autumn or spring. And if you can see, the spring colors are very bright colors, and it totally washes you out. You're getting lost in it. The colors are wearing you. Whereas with autumn, you are more present. So you are wearing the colors better, but I still felt that they were a little bit too strong for you. So we go one step further and we call it a bright or a muted autumn. And these are bright autumn colors, which are similar to the spring. Again, too strong for you and too bright for you. And that's how I got to your colors are muted autumn colors. And what I'll send to you, Trace, also is a palette of colors that are perfect for you. But I can't actually find your wow color unless I'm doing that color by color individually. But I've seen that, I can see that you tend a lot towards, I see even with your branding, you tend a lot towards the purple.
Yes.
So if you love purple, when you're shopping for purple, don't go with these, with the bright purples, like the cool purples. This one's a little bit warmer. It's almost like we've taken purple, we put a little bit of orange and a little bit of gray in it, and it came up more with a deeper gray purple or an aubergine. That would be more your color. Yeah. So I think that the deep muted purple is a good one for you. And I really, really like the blues and the grays on you too in an autumn version.
I love those. I love all those colors, right? And that like muted burgundy as well.
Yeah.
What I'm wearing now.
Yes, exactly. And so the whole thing about color is that it's supposed to work in harmony with your natural coloring. It's not supposed to go against. So I remember, like when I was smaller, people would say, well, if you've got a light complexion, you should wear dark colors. If you've got a lot to do, not even just with color, even with the whole style analysis, you go in harmony with what's naturally you. Go in harmony with what's naturally your coloring. Work with it, not against it.
Amazing, amazing. So I'd love to come and see you and do a full analysis. How can people book you for a full analysis?
Well, I've got the links at the end for my website and my phone number and everything. And I've actually offered all the women that are on this your Facebook group, a 15% discount on any of my services for the months of April and May.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. That is wonderful.
Welcome. So that's color. That's really color. I'm very passionate about color. I think it changes the way. And as you say, like when you walk into a store, if you know what colors suit you, it will really take the guesswork out of choosing colors in your clothing.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is like one of the best gifts you can give yourself, right? Just to have that like pressure off.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it can be overwhelming going into a store. There's so many different things to look at, but if you just know what colors work for you, then you can't go wrong, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So any questions on color before we move to the next slide?
Let me have a look. Let me just refresh the screen. Anybody got any questions on color? I know there's a tiny little bit of delay between us talking and what people hear on Facebook. Georgina says she takes her color palette swatch with her when she goes clothes shopping all the time. Amazing.
She's a good student.
Yeah. All right. And Diane says so informative. Amazing. I think if people have questions, they can just pop them in the chat.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we're going to move on to body and style analysis. So this is really, it can get quite technical when I'm working with a client to work on your body analysis, because all of us have got very, very different body shapes. So it's really a matter of also measuring. I look at your coloring, I look at your height, your bone structure, and your somatotype. Your bone structure could be very fine detail, very fine bone structure, and or it could be very strong and angular. Your somatotype is really your silhouette. So we've put them into categories of, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it can take ages, but your somatotype is, you're either an ectomorph, a mesomorph, or an endomorph. An ectomorph is somebody who's really like got a very fine, thin, like a tall, fine, thin body type. And a mesomorph is somebody who's really standard and basic and all-round proportion, equal proportion. And an endomorph is people that are more on the curvy side, have got areas that are larger than others. And then when we work with the silhouette, we use these letters, HOVAXS. And if you actually look at the letters, you can see that it represents that body shape. So an H is really standard, straight, standard body shape. An O is more somebody that's more rounded on both the bottom and the top parts of their body. The V is somebody who's got a bigger topper or upper part of their body, like a swimmer with wider shoulders, and then they taper off more towards the waist and the bottom half of their body. And the A is the other way around. So some people are smaller on top and larger on the waist and the hips and the butt. The X is like an hourglass figure. So it's somebody who's got a really small waist, and they call it, remember back in the day it was called an hourglass figure. So it's really like that.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola bottle.
Yeah, and like a Betty Boop. And then an S is somebody who's got a larger bust and a larger butt, but everything else is in proportion with the rest of the body. So then when we discover what your silhouette is, we can move, and your facial features and visual texture. Texture is like your hair, your curly hair or straight hair, or the texture could also be your skin. Some people have got very fine, smooth skin, and some people have got a textured skin, freckles, things like that. We take all of this into account before, or I take all of this into account before I can come up with a body analysis and a style analysis that's perfect for you. We also take into account your personality, and we put that into a style analysis. So It can be dramatic, which is more somebody who's very, very strong, opinionated character and loves to enter a room with drama, and who's full of confidence. And I take my hat off to those people. And they tend towards more darker clothing, more angular, jewelry that's very dramatic and chunky and out there. And they like to walk into a room and be seen. And then an aristocratic personality, somebody who tends to a little bit shyer and tends towards more traditional clothing. You can think more of a royal family type of fashion sense. Natural, people who are more natural and they like natural fabrics and more flowy clothing, not so constricted or restrictive. Somebody who's creative, likes more, brings a lot of color, and they don't care whether it's in fashion or not. It's just got to be a creative, something that speaks to the creative sense. So you've got to take all of these things into account when you come up with ideas for somebody's wardrobe. Classics is just somebody who really likes a core wardrobe, that pieces that don't go out of fashion very easily. And a romantic is somebody who likes a lot of flow and curve in the fabric and in the style.
Love that. So
lower necklines and frilly collars, things like that.
So if you're watching on the replay, or you're watching, let us know in the comments which category you think you fall into. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Can you be combinations?
Yes, actually most people are.
Okay.
Most people are combinations. So for instance, I've actually got three. I'm a natural, classic, romantic. So I like natural fabrics, but I also like a good core wardrobe that never goes out of fashion, with a few elements of romantic in it. So you can have more than one, more than two, more than three. It just helps the image consultant understand you better. And even people that do the assessments, they've discovered things about themselves that they didn't even know that they were that way. Because we lead to this. I'm not, like, when I do an assessment, I'm not going to say, are you a dramatic or are you aristocratic? I will feed you questions that will help you and me understand that that's the conclusion we're going to come to at the end.
See, all right. And this whole body and style analysis can all be done over Zoom?
Yes, I can do analysis for style and body for sure. The only thing I can't do on Zoom when it comes to image consulting is editing your wardrobe. So we're going to discuss wardrobe in the next slide, but you have to really be present to edit somebody's wardrobe. Sure. We can discuss it, but I can't obviously be there to do it.
Right.
But otherwise, everything else is available on online, virtually.
Amazing. Okay, Gina says she's natural and classic. Love that.
Yes, absolutely, she is. Time for the next slide.
Yeah.
Because I think this can get very technical, so it will be difficult for people to know what they are. It's just things that we work on as image consultants to understand you better, so that we can work on the perfect wardrobe for you.
Right. And you help people, as you say, come to that realization of work.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And this is all works towards a person's confidence. Now that they understand themselves better and what they're looking for when they go shopping, it just makes it so much easier. Really, it does. So I'm going to touch on people's wardrobes. Like I said before, I can't, editing you'd have to do yourself. When somebody edits their wardrobes, like somebody's decided now they're going to go through their wardrobes and decide what doesn't work for them anymore and what does work for them. Because really, at the end of the day, most people wear 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. So there's a lot of people out there that have still got Is that you admitting it, Trace?
Oh my God. I have a wardrobe full of clothes and I probably only wear 10% of it. And I just cannot bring myself to give stuff away. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's a daunting task, but it's also very liberating once you get it done. It's really having a grey cloud lifted. And I just love editing. Like anybody who knows me will know that I have no problem throwing stuff out. I do it every season.
Yeah.
Because then you make room for all the new stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. But so somebody who's decided now they're going to edit their wardrobe, go through each and every single piece and decide, is this going to, have I worn this firstly in the last 2 years? Now with COVID, it's a bit difficult because most people haven't worn all their nice stuff during COVID and during the pandemic. So let's take it a year before that. So a year before COVID, were you wearing it? And if you haven't, if you're keeping it for the odd occasion that you haven't even reached in the last 5 years, I promise you, you're not going to get to that occasion. It's never coming. Give it to somebody else that maybe will get more joy out of that item. And make a few bags, like make one bag for donation, one bag for nobody's ever going to want this, I'm going to throw it out. And maybe, I don't know, some people have actually got a few sizes in their wardrobes. Then take it out of your wardrobe if it's not fitting you and put it away in a box. And if you find later that you need it, you can bring the box out and you may never need it, and then you can donate it at a later stage. And then we work, and this is where I can come in virtually. Now you've edited down to the pieces that do work for you. I can have a look at those on a Zoom meeting, but now you've come down to the pieces that do work for you and you don't want to get rid of. And we work with capsules and basics. So your true basics are items like good jeans that fit you. Everything must fit you. Whatever you've now left behind must fit you well. So now we're talking about jeans, we're talking about white tops, whether they're cotton or linen, button down tops. You can always pair that with something, a white t-shirt, a black t-shirt, and if it's winter, a long black t-shirt, because they can go under so many things. Other core items are a black coat for winter and another color, maybe in a wool coat. So I know that a lot of us in Canada love our black waterproof down winter coats, and it's a staple in everybody's wardrobe. Then have another, at least one other, that when you're going out, it can be more your color, and you can wear that for special, for better occasions. Then you should also have the colors that work for you. Then we start adding things into your basic wardrobe so that they just level up what you already have. And a capsule wardrobe is, now somebody doesn't know what goes with what in their wardrobe. Capsule wardrobes are perfect for you, and you can take pictures of a capsule wardrobe so that you remember what goes with what. So a typical capsule wardrobe is a coat or a jacket, a dress if you wear dresses, 4 tops, 2 bottoms, 2 pairs of shoes, and at least 2 other accessories. And everything in that capsule needs to work with each other and can be worn with each other. So those 4 tops can be worn, those 2 bottoms can be worn with all 4 tops. So you can mix and match, and now you've made at least 25 outfits just within one capsule. And then if you, yeah, so a lot of people even they keep their things in their wardrobes according to capsules, or they keep pictures. They can refer back to them if they want to remember what to wear with what. So that's part of wardrobe editing and how we get you to narrow down. Rather have a fewer things that you wear all the time than a whole lot of stuff that you don't wear but just look really good in the store. You know, or to really look good on the mannequin and you're sure you're going to wear it one day. No, rather just have a few pieces that you're going to wear more often. Trace, should we move to the next slide? Anybody got questions here?
No questions.
Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about grooming here. So because this image consulting doesn't only revolve around clothing, it's grooming is a huge part to play in a woman's confidence. So let's talk firstly about hair. And at this stage in our lives, our hair gets finer. And so my suggestion is to keep your hair at a length where it's doing something for you if your ends are really, really fine. Your haircut, also work with your hairdresser to find a cut that best suits your facial shape, your face shape and your facial features. But I just find that the shorter lengths are better for us at this stage in our lives. If you want to move towards grey, because that's a huge trend that started during the pandemic, which I can understand because it's low maintenance, but it became a huge trend even for people that are not going grey. They're actually dyeing their hair grey just because it's actually funky. So if you're going to go grey, my suggestion again is to work with a hairdresser so that they can maybe put grey highlights into your hair, integrate it until it's fully grown out, so that it just doesn't look shabby or too obvious, or it just looks better while you're growing it out in the process. So here's somebody who's used highlights and lowlights of grey to help her grow her grey out. And this is great. You can see that this woman's hair is finer, but she's cut it that it really looks good, that kind of length. And also easy to maintain at home. You don't want to have to walk out the hair salon looking like $1 million, and then when you do it at home, you don't know how to get the same look, right? Skincare, again, at this stage, our cells are not reproducing the way they used to in our 30s. And so when you come across skincare and you see things like retinol and hyaluronic acid, these are all ingredients that help us. Like retinol, for example, is pure vitamin A, and it just helps us recharge those, regenerate those cells. And exfoliate once a week, because that removes dead skin cells from the surface and also helps with the skin texture, because our pores get bigger as we get older. So I suggest that you use an exfoliator, moisturizers that have got retinol in them. A serum is really important, especially in colder climates where our skin lacks hydration. So the hydration serum takes moisture out of the environment and locks it into your skin. That really helps. An eye cream. So how does an eye cream differ from, like, why is it special? Why can we not just put moisturizer under our eyes? Because the area around our eye is very, very sensitive. And so they make the eye cream for that sensitivity around your eyes. And we get puffiness, we get dark circles, we get wrinkles. They're called crow's feet. We get wrinkles on the side of our eyes, and the eye cream really helps with that. I will say that if you have sensitive skin, don't just rush to use all these products, that you try, that you patch test it first and make sure that your skin reacts favorably to all these products. Then makeup. So the biggest tip that I can give you as we age, as our skin ages, that before applying makeup, that you moisturize properly, because the powders and the makeup settle into the wrinkles and make it look more obvious. So just moisturize, 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 and then when you're applying the makeup, it just looks creamier, and it just works better. Choose creams over powders. So these days you can get even your blushes and your eyeshadows in a cream version, because the powders again settle into the wrinkles, and use colors that are in harmony with your complexion. So I think a good way to test that is on the neck area, because this is the neck area doesn't usually get affected by the sun. So you'll be able to see when you're testing a foundation or something, your true color is in your neck area. But then again, if your face has seen the sun and it's a bit darker, then go up a notch, go a little bit darker, so that your foundation matches your skin color for that particular time. And then treat yourself to regular manicures and pedicures. I really, I think that's a great self-care tip as we get older. And now we're going into spring and summer, let those little toesies look good all the time.
Then colors for nail polish and lipstick and eyeshadow, is that something that you also help people with in the color analysis? Like,
yeah, so when you know what your colors are, work that into your, that's not just for your clothing, that's for your jewelry, it's for your makeup, it's for your hair, it's for everything that you wear.
Okay, amazing.
Okay, so that's some grooming tips. And then the last, well, we're getting to the end now, but I just wanted to touch on, so what I do is, especially for my clientele, is I take spring and summer trends, but not like whatever's on the runway is really designed for runway. It's not really designed for street. And I take stuff even that's in the stores that maybe are for 20 and 30-year-olds that don't work for us anymore. So I'll take out the styles that maybe will work for us. The trends in colors are this purple, which is called Very Peri, is the Pantone color of the year, and I see it a lot in clothing for spring and summer. So if this works with your coloring, you're really lucky. It's a really trendy color. So that you'll always see that the brighter colors come out in spring and summer, and there'll always be a neutral that's hot for the season. And the neutral is this caramel color. It's like the color of the top.
Gorgeous. Yeah, it's what you're wearing. Stunning.
It's very hot.
Whenever I hear that term, very peri, because I've heard it's like perimenopause, very peri.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even think of that, but that's true. How appropriate for this group. So these colors are really hot for spring and summer. And the trends are wide leg pants, all lengths, cropped and full. Long pleated skirts, and you can dress them down and dress them up. That's what I love about these skirts too. Maxi dresses. I tend towards maxi dresses because I just really like them and they suit me. But
okay,
there's obviously dresses in short.
What's that? What is a maxi dress?
Maxi dress means a long dress, right down to the ground. Okay. But if it's not your thing to wear such long lengths, then there are midi and mini dresses too.
And can short people wear maxi lengths?
I think it also depends on how flowy the fabric is. You don't want, like, if it's too flowy, I find that short people get lost in it. If it's a little bit more structured, then yes. But we say like a medium height is 5'5", so anything less than that, you can maybe, even if it's like this dress, for instance, right down to the ground, you get dresses that are more ankle length. Maybe those work better. I would say take a few of the dresses into the change room and see if it works for you. If you feel like $1 million when you put it on, then hey, enjoy it, rock it, and just wear it if you love it. But usually the shorter the person, the better the length, the shorter the length should be. Caftan, oversized blazers. Okay, so it is a trend. I haven't put a picture here because I don't love oversized blazers for everybody. I don't find them very flattering. If you're wearing them with like skinny jeans, they could look really great. And sometimes people even belt them. You put a thick belt over an oversized blazer and it looks really cool. Caftan dresses and tops, my mom will love because she just she wears this just at home thinking that it's a gown, and now it's to be celebrated outside the home. But caftan dresses are really, and I think even for the movement group, Trace, this is really something that's comfortable and movable.
Love that.
Satin blouses are very in, but if you're suffering from flushes all day long, they might not work in your favor because satin blouses are normally not natural fabrics, unless it's silk. Texture is very in for spring and summer as well. Texture as in terms of the padding, like the padding bags and shoes. There's a lot of crocheted tops and crocheted skirts and lace, a lot of texture I've noticed for spring and summer. The platform sandals, as I showed you in the other slide as well, and these are very in. Flats are actually very in. padded and wicker bags, like here. The wicker ones are, they kind of look like straw bags. Those are very in. And wide belts, like here. And if you're looking for eyewear and rectangular is a shape that suits your face, well, then you'll be celebrating sunglasses this year. This shape is very in. And that is the trends. And here's my contact details. I'll make a copy of the slide, or I'll just leave my contact details in the chat. And if anybody wants to get a hold of me for image consulting services, you have 15% off, as I mentioned earlier, for April and May, if you're a woman in this group.
Fantastic.
And I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn too.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. If you, we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes. If Annette's got some more time, that was so interesting. I love that. If you have any questions, just pop them in. Diane has asked, do you think at this age we should be wearing makeup more often? Great question.
Okay, so obviously if you're staying at home, not everybody wants to wear, when you're at home, you don't want to wear makeup, but definitely I feel we need that. I think that if the makeup is elevating you and it's making you feel good, definitely. And also because our complexion's changing. We don't have the skin that we used to. And if we can get a little bit of help from the makeup to make our eyes look more awake and make our skin look smoother and especially if we don't have that naturally, then yes, I do believe in makeup at this age.
So you're saying in terms of like foundation and just basic things like eyeliner and
so these items are going to really help you. Foundation, and if you don't like the feel of foundation because it may feel like it's too heavy on your skin, that's what BB creams and CC creams are. They're basically moisturizers that are tinted moisturizers. So it's like a moisturizer with a tint in it, so it doesn't have that same cakey feel that a foundation has. Mascara, just because our hair is finer as we get older, that applies to our eyebrows and our eyelashes too. So if we can use eyebrow gel or powder to help define them a little bit more because we're losing that hair, and our eyelashes, we can use mascara to just amplify them a little bit more, then for sure, and then a lipstick that works within your coloring. And then even a little, if you need a little bit of color in your cheeks, work with your coloring. There's so many blushes out there, but if you look at a blusher, you can see if it goes more towards a pink version or more towards an orange version. If you're a warm coloring, you'll go to toward the orange coloring, and if you're cool, you'll go toward the pink coloring when it comes to a blusher. So definites are a blusher, a foundation, an eyeliner, and mascara, and a brow, something to help you with your brows as well.
Amazing. Great.
And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll notice that I do makeup tips every Monday. And I'm going to be holding some online workshops. I haven't put them on my website yet, but I'm going to be doing a workshop called No Makeup Makeup. Awesome. So it looks like you're not wearing a ton of makeup, but you're actually just leveling up. From no makeup at all.
Feel free to put your promos in the Perimenopause Movement Club group so that people can come and join you on those. That's definitely, because I don't wear much makeup, mostly because I just don't know what to wear.
It's very daunting, and when you walk into a pharmacy or you walk into a makeup store, there's so many brands and there's so many colors, and it can get scary. So you just don't do anything at all. It's so much easier, right? But if you know what to do. What's that, Trace?
I said that's the category that I've fallen into.
No, and you and a lot of women, I promise you, you're not alone. So if you know what to choose and what to wear, it helps.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I don't believe in big expensive brands as well. You don't have to wear Christian Dior on your face. Right. There's Maybelline and Revlon, and they do the trick just as well. And yeah, I do believe in makeup. It helps.
Fantastic. Yeah, Diane says she loves the tips on your Instagram, so I'm definitely going to check those out. Awesome. Okay, so if there are any more questions, just pop them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much, Annette. This has been wonderful. And for people watching on the replay, if you can just type #replay. I'm just checking to see if there are any final questions. You can just type #replay. And if you've got a specific question for Annette, then it's best to tag her, Annette Cohen, so that she can make sure she gets a notification that you have a specific question. But thank you so much for coming to talk to us. This has been fascinating. I hope you will come back and talk to us again. Maybe we can go into detail on some of the specific areas. But I think my biggest takeaway for today is that color analysis. I think it all starts with the color analysis, right?
Yeah. I think that's a good way to. It's a good one to start with, for sure.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for making that 15% offer available to the group members. So get in touch with Annette, everyone.
Thank you, Trace. Thank you for having me in the group, and I look forward to meeting some of the ladies on the chat. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just reach out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Do you want to just unshare the screen for a sec? And we can just say goodbye to everyone. It's been wonderful having you. I'm just doing one last check that there are no more questions before we sign off, because there is this delay between what we say and what comes up on Facebook.
That's fine. I'm in no rush.
So Susie asked, you ever take people shopping? Is that a service you offer? Great.
Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely. Personal shopping is a service. And the rates work according to how many hours we need to shop for.
Okay, that's great. And then would a shop like that just cover all various different styles, or do you suggest people, how often do you suggest people do that?
Well, some people like to do it at the beginning of a season. So like this is a perfect time to go shopping, because this is when all the styles are reaching the stores. So you can get your clothing now for spring and summer, and then if you need the help again in autumn, we do the autumn and winter shop then. So and then some people even just need a personal shopper to help them with a special occasion. So I work with the mother of the bride and even the bride sometimes. So it just all depends on what your need is.
Great. And what do you think of the idea of like clothes swaps among friends?
I love that idea. As long as you both have the same style, you know, and the same size as well. But I love that because it's like freshening up your wardrobe all the time. So if you both gravitate towards the same clothes, like my sister and I, for example, wear a lot of similar clothes. I'm not her size, unfortunately, so I can't share my wardrobe with her. But I would love to if we were the same size. I love that idea.
Yeah. I love the idea of like getting a group of people together, you know, and this whole idea of, you know, free cycling things to to help the environment as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's sustainable for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So maybe we can set up some groups.
Good idea. Another group. Yeah, that's a good idea, Trace.
Shopping in your friends' wardrobes, right? Because I know more than anything, I just get bored of my clothes, right?
Yeah. And that's why you tend towards the same things all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like like a lot of people think that we, like for instance, my daughter, when I go shopping with her, she's like, "Don't you have that already? I feel like you're shopping for the same things over and over again," because we have a style, and so we'll go for the same things all the time. So if you share that same style with somebody, then that's great. We used to do that when we were kids, remember? Like, yes. As teenagers, we used to share clothes all the time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's something that I am completely guilty of is that I find a style that I like, I'll buy it in like all
every color.
What is what you have to say? Because I'm just a lazy shopper. Like I never go. If I go shopping twice a year, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm all for that if it's something that really looks good on you and you can see yourself wearing it for more than a year or two, and you know you're not going to get that again in the store. Then get it while you can.
Yes. Okay. All right. I feel better about that. Although when I did go through my wardrobe over winter, I was like, really? Did I buy 5 tops in that cut?
Exactly. And then you wonder why you're getting bored of your wardrobe, Trace.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for people like me? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one here. I really do not like going shopping for clothes. For me, it's torture.
So my advice is you get an image consultant. My advice, who can shop with you online. So I actually just worked with a client.
Yes.
I worked with a client a few weeks ago in London, England.
Yes.
And I shopped for her online. And so what she's going to do, she's going to order everything that we agreed on,
yes.
On the links that I think would suit her.
Mm-hmm.
And when the stuff comes, she's going to try everything on, and she's going to keep what she absolutely loves.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to send back. So when you order, this is my tip when you're ordering online. It's so much better to order from somewhere where you can return it to the store itself. Oh. So places like The Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, Zara, H&M, they've all got the policy that they'll take back your
right.
what you don't need. So even if you're not sure of a size, order 2 sizes and then see which one fits best and take back what doesn't work for you. But if you're going to order something from sites that aren't even in the country and they're going to charge you to return it, it just doesn't always work that way. Because it's hard to look at the model in the ad and picture yourself wearing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what other advice do you have for buying from websites? Because that's part of the reason why I haven't, why I don't really shop is, first of all the good shops certainly in our area, like you can't find good shops to go to anywhere. There was one boutique that I loved to go to down the road from us, and that closed down. Yeah. So it's like I don't even know what websites to go to, and then I'm like, well, how do I know if it's going to suit me? So again, are you saying is that we're working with an image consultant comes in, because then you advise what kind of styles and cuts and that?
Yeah, because we'll work. Yeah, so we work with your style, with your style and your personality and your body shape and your body to find the right styles that will fit you according to the virtual shopping. And then whatever doesn't fit you, you can just take back. I really like shopping online. If you've got also a budget to get like few of this, like just get a whole lot of stuff and take back what doesn't work for you. Because you're not going to want to do it again a week later or 2 weeks later, Yeah. Absolutely. I know boutiques. A lot of people that don't like to shop like to go to boutiques because you get the personalized service. Right. So there are still a lot of boutiques. I know in our area, like for those living in Vaughan, a lot of boutiques in Woodbridge that are wonderful.
Oh, okay. I'll have to get some.
I can mention it. I can give you 1 or 2 names. And then also the other thing you can do is when you sign up for emails from these stores, you'll get the emails. I know it can get a bit painful because it's like a lot of junk mail. But if you've got the time to have a look at the email, whenever they get new styles in and they send it to you in an email, then you just kept aware of what's coming through to that store. And then you can order it, and like the Bay are very good with that. And in fact, all the stores, if you sign up for anybody's email, you'll get the emails. It can be a little bit over the top sometimes, but if you've got the time, maybe, at the end of a month to have a look through the emails and see if there's anything there that works for you, order it and send it back if you don't like it.
Fantastic. That's great advice. Yeah, because otherwise it's a bit overwhelming. Like sometimes I'll go onto these stores and I'm like, you open the browser and then you just close it because there's too much, right?
I know.
Whereas when you walk, I'm still old-fashioned like that. I like to walk into a store and hold stuff. I also like to read like actual books
and feel the fabrics and everything. I get it.
experience?
I love shopping in a store. I mean, you can leave me, like, I know that some people hate it, but you can leave me at Winners in the morning and come pick me up that evening. I'll spend the whole day there. I love it. It's like a treasure hunt for me.
Yes, yeah. Fantastic. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. This was so
You're welcome. It was fun. Thank you.
It's more about just clothes and colors, right? It's about just helping you to elevate you to be your best self and your best version of yourself and your most confident self as you navigate these changing years of your life. So
yeah, this stage in our life, I say, what a time to be alive. I'm loving the 50s, I must tell you, and just enjoy it. Like, don't think of dressing yourself as a task, as a daunting task. Just enjoy it. And as I said, the whole goal is to feel confident. So if you're putting on something and you feel confident in it, then own it and rock it and just wear it. My job is just to help you get to that confidence level, level up after pandemic, and start with color.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trace.
Thanks for being with us. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.